Mexico City is a huge and beautiful city with tons to offer. In this video, we're going to go over 10 affordable things you absolutely have to do when you're in Mexico City, saving the best for last. Let's dive right into it. Number 10, ride bikes on Mexico City's closed roads. First things first, if you're in Mexico City on a Sunday, you need to head to Paseo de la Reforma, one of the biggest streets in Mexico City. Every Sunday, this street is completely shut down to cars from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. so it can be open to cyclists. If you get there early enough and you're okay handing over your passport or driver's license, you can actually rent a bike for free. Otherwise, you can use one of Mexico City's eco bikes. These cost 112 pesos per day, which is $5.50 US. Just make sure you dock the bike every 45 minutes or you're gonna get really big late fees.
How you feeling about Mexico City?
I love Mexico City.
Mexico City is great. This is like, oh man, I could stay here forever.
Number 9, the Teotihuacan pyramids.
Ready for the photo?
I don't know what to do.
This whole area is a huge archaeological complex that was built by the Teotihuacans, which predates the Aztecs. It is north of Mexico City about an hour. Admission to the pyramids costs just 75 pesos, that's less than $4. You can take a DD to get there, which is a phone app that's kind of like Uber, except cheaper. Or if you're okay spending a little bit more money, you can go to the pyramids through a tour, which will cost a little bit more, but they'll pick you up from your accommodation and you'll learn the history in real time and get access to secret parts of the pyramid that you wouldn't be able to get to on your own. A tour like this will cost around $50 per person.
Teotihuacan.
Teotihuacan.
Number 8, Torre Latino Americana. The 8th best thing to do in Mexico City is to ride the elevator up to the open-air rooftop of Torre Latino Americana, the historical center's tallest building, and soak in the views. It costs 170 pesos to access the rooftop, that's about $8, and offers some of the best views of Mexico City. Number 7, explore Mexico City's markets. Mexico City has tons of unique markets that are nothing like the markets in the US. Some of my favorite markets are Mercado de San Juan, Mercado de Medellin, and Mercado de Sonora. Mercado Medellin has unique cuts of meat you probably haven't seen anywhere before, like cow brain. Mercado de Sonora is Mexico's largest witchy market. And Mercado de San Juan is the place to go to eat crickets, scorpions, spiders, and even ant eggs. But seriously, you gotta try the ant eggs, they're great. I have a whole other video exploring the market, so if you wanna see that next, you can click up here to watch that after this one.
It's good. It almost tastes like cheese. It's not at all insecty like I thought maybe it would be.
Number 6, explore the Zocalo. While you're at Torre Latino Americana, you absolutely have to explore the rest of Mexico's Centro Historico area. I made a whole other video on the 10 different things to do specifically in the Centro Historico area, so you can click up here to watch that one after this video is done. But the items you absolutely cannot miss are admiring the architecture of Palacio de Bellas Artes, the architecture of the Metropolitan Cathedral, and checking out the ancient Mayan ruins of Templo Mayor. Number 5, hiring mariachis. Hiring mariachis is a fun and affordable thing to do that you absolutely have to try when you are in Mexico City. The best place to hire mariachis in Mexico City is Plaza Garibaldi. Here, mariachis will play at all hours of the day and night, but get there around 9 p.m. on a weekend if you want to see the plaza in full swing. I got here too early. This is obviously not at full swing.
Another thing you absolutely have to do when you're in Mexico City is eat the street food. So I was just walking back to my Airbnb and I came across this market and there's a ton of food options here. And yeah, settled on the gorditas here. One thing that's great to do in these markets is eat a little bit of everything. Get like 1 or 2 things at like 3 or 4 different places.
Next up is going to a Lucha Libre show. Unfortunately, I forgot to get to this one. I'm leaving Mexico City today too, so I'm not going to be able to do it, but I'm really bummed because I've heard these shows are just amazing and they're not too expensive. Something else you absolutely have to do is go to Chapultepec Park and Chapultepec Castle. In the middle of Mexico City is a huge park that's actually twice the size of New York City's Central Park, and in this park, on the tallest hill, is a real-life castle called the Chapultepec Castle. This castle has a ton of history and has been turned into a museum, and admission to the castle is just 70 pesos, and it's definitely worth it. And the moment you've all been waiting for, number one, you absolutely have to go to the floating gardens at Xochimilco.
This is a Xochimilco tour. Xochimilco, a tour you gotta do when you're in Mexico City.
Mexico City was actually built on a lake, and back in the day, all the food to feed the Aztecs was grown on floating gardens. Today, you can go to some of the last remains of these floating gardens at the Xochimilco canals, ride in one of these really cool boats, and have a really good party you won't forget, assuming you remember it the next day. This one could cost you a little bit more if you do it last minute, but it doesn't have to if you do it with some planning. A 2-hour tour to float down the canals in one of these boats cost us $50 per person, which included all you can eat and all you can drink, and was worth it. It was a really, really good time. But you can actually make Xochimilco a lot more affordable by getting a group of people together from couchsurfing or from Facebook groups and hire a boat and a driver on your own, not through a tour guide. So that is my list of 10 affordable things you absolutely have to do when you are in Mexico City. Leave me a comment down below. What item on this list do you think looks the best? And if there's something you think I missed, also leave that in the comment below and maybe I can include it in a future video. All right, that's it for this one. I'll see you guys next week in a new city in Mexico. Peace.